High creatinine? Stop using these 3 spices. When was the last time you looked closely at the spices in your kitchen and wondered which ones might quietly be raising your creatinine levels? Most people never think about spices because they seem small, harmless, and flavor-boosting. But for someone living with high creatinine or weakened kidney function, certain spices act like hidden stress makers. They overload filtration, trigger inflammation, and make your kidneys work harder than they need to. So today, let's gently walk through 3 everyday spices that many people use casually, yet they can become surprisingly heavy for your kidneys. Stay with me till the end because stopping just one of these might ease pressure on your kidneys within days. Let's begin with a spice almost everyone keeps on their kitchen shelf. Red chili powder. It may look harmless, just a bright red sprinkle on top of your meals, but it carries a level of intensity that the kidneys don't always appreciate, especially when creatinine is already creeping up. Most people use it daily without noticing how sharply it influences internal heat, digestion, and metabolic waste production. For kidneys that are already filtering slower than usual, this added pressure becomes a hidden burden that shows up slowly through discomfort, dehydration, and swelling. What makes red chili powder problematic is the presence of capsaicin, a compound that stimulates strong nerve responses in the digestive tract. When the gut becomes irritated, inflammation increases in the bloodstream, and these inflammatory compounds must pass through the kidneys for clearance. This means every spicy meal generates additional work for a system that's already struggling. While healthy kidneys can handle these fluctuations, weakened kidneys cannot process inflammatory byproducts efficiently. Another concern is the purity of chili powder. Many commercially available varieties are mixed with artificial colors, anti-caking agents, and even low-grade chili skins that carry more irritants than nutrition. These additives might not harm a healthy person, but someone with high creatinine absorbs every unwanted chemical much more slowly. The kidneys must filter these particles, and this creates more waste load than people realize. Red chili powder also tends to dry out the body. It triggers heat, increases thirst, and subtly reduces internal hydration. Dehydration is one of the fastest ways to raise creatinine levels because the kidneys depend on steady water flow to flush toxins. The more dehydration that spicy meals cause, the harder the kidneys must work to maintain balance, and this effect often goes unnoticed in everyday life. Long-term use of spicy food may also cause silent irritation to the stomach lining. When the gut becomes sensitive, nutrient absorption drops, which indirectly affects the kidneys because the body begins breaking down muscle for energy. Muscle breakdown increases creatinine formation. This cycle is subtle but common in older adults or anyone with reduced kidney capacity who consumes chili-heavy meals regularly. Red chili powder also increases acidity in the bloodstream. Higher acidity means the kidneys must work harder to balance pH levels. Over time, this constant balancing act creates fatigue in the filtration system. People often blame salt or protein for their rising creatinine, but they rarely connect the dots back to acid-forming spices. Another hidden issue is that red chili powder makes food feel more flavorful but also more addictive. People naturally consume larger portions when food is spicy, which increases sodium, oil, and carb intake in the same meal. All of this means more metabolic waste for the kidneys to handle. A small amount of chili powder leads indirectly to a heavier workload on multiple fronts. For older individuals, the effects are even sharper because digestive fire weakens with age. What used to be tolerable at 30 becomes stressful at 60. Spices like chili powder linger longer in the digestive tract, causing bloating and inflammatory responses that eventually reach the kidneys through the bloodstream. This delayed impact often goes unrecognized. If you still enjoy a hint of spice, you don't need to eliminate flavor from your meals. Instead, you can replace red chili powder with gentler options like mild paprika, dried fenugreek leaves, or lightly toasted coriander powder. These alternatives bring aroma, warmth, and depth without the aggressive heat or chemical load that chili powder brings to the table. Reducing or stopping red chili powder is not about restricting taste. It's about giving your kidneys room to breathe. When inflammation lowers, hydration stabilizes, and acidity reduces, creatinine begins to settle. Small choices like avoiding this one spice can create noticeable improvement in how your kidneys feel and function over time. I'm creating these videos to make your kidney healing journey clearer, calmer, and easier to follow. Your experience matters here, so tell me in the comments which of these 3 spices do you use most often in your cooking. Your answer helps me understand what you're facing in daily life, so I can prepare even more helpful content for you. Now let's talk about a tiny spice with a surprisingly powerful punch: cloves. It might look harmless because of their size, but their intensity makes them one of the strongest spices used in everyday cooking. Their bold aroma comes from a powerful natural compound that stimulates multiple systems in the body at once. For someone living with high creatinine, this stimulation becomes overwhelming because the body must process a sharp burst of activity from even 1 or 2 cloves. One of the biggest issues with cloves is the way they influence digestive secretions. They trigger a stronger release of acids and enzymes, making the stomach work harder than necessary. While this may help with digestion in small amounts, frequent use creates irritation inside the gut. When the gut becomes inflamed, the body produces inflammatory markers that circulate in the bloodstream. Your kidneys must filter out these markers, which increases the workload on an already stressed filtration system. Cloves also have a strong drying nature. They reduce moisture inside the body because of their heat-producing properties. When internal moisture drops, the bloodstream becomes slightly thicker, making it more challenging for the kidneys to push waste through the nephrons. This subtle dehydration effect can raise creatinine concentration quickly, especially in older adults who may already be drinking less water than their body needs. Another overlooked issue comes from the way cloves are often used in gravies, rice dishes, and masalas. They are usually mixed with multiple other intense spices: cardamom, cinnamon, pepper, bay leaves, star anise, and more. When these combinations enter your system together, they create a spice overload. Your liver must process the essential oils, and your kidneys must clear the metabolic leftovers. This layered burden becomes harder to handle as kidney function declines. Cloves also influence blood circulation by stimulating heat and increasing blood flow to various organs. While this effect might be beneficial for certain conditions, it becomes problematic for those with kidney concerns. Increased circulation means more byproducts and metabolites entering the bloodstream at a faster rate. Weak kidneys cannot keep up with this rush, causing creatinine and urea levels to rise gradually. A surprising side effect of cloves is their impact on appetite and taste balance. Their strong, pungent flavor encourages people to use heavier sauces, richer gravies, or saltier dishes just to balance the sharpness. This often leads to a higher overall intake of sodium and fats, 2 major contributors to fluid retention and kidney strain. In this indirect way, cloves influence dietary choices that push creatinine even higher. Quality also plays a significant role. Many commercially available cloves are coated with polishing agents or stored with chemical preservatives to maintain their color and shine. These external substances are not visible to the eye, but they enter your system with every meal that contains cloves. For someone with high creatinine, filtering out these chemicals becomes an added burden, increasing stress on the nephrons and slowing recovery. Even the aroma of cloves represents concentrated essential oils. These compounds are strong enough to act medicinally in controlled doses, but everyday cooking does not use controlled amounts. Each clove holds a burst of potent oil that the body must metabolize. The more intense the essential oil, the more waste products get released into the bloodstream. This is exactly what strained kidneys struggle to handle, especially in seniors and those with chronic filtration issues. The safer approach is to replace cloves with gentler spices such as coriander seeds, fennel, dried mint, or mild bay leaf, which provide flavor without overwhelming your system. These lighter options keep digestion calm, reduce internal heat, and minimize the production of metabolic waste. This creates a soothing environment for your kidneys, helping creatinine levels stabilize over time while still allowing your meals to stay flavorful and satisfying. Finally, let's talk about a spice often used for tempering. Black mustard seeds may look tiny and innocent, but the moment they hit hot oil, they transform into one of the most intense forms of seasoning in South Asian cooking. Their popping sound is not just a sign of flavor, but also a signal that strong aromatic compounds are being released. For kidneys that are already sensitive, these compounds can introduce more stimulation and metabolic strain than the body can comfortably manage. The major issue begins with the volatile oils inside mustard seeds. These oils become activated when exposed to heat, creating a fiery blend of compounds that irritate the digestive tract. When the gut becomes irritated, the body releases inflammatory markers into the bloodstream. The kidneys must filter these markers, and this increases the filtration burden on a system that's already working slower due to high creatinine. Mustard seeds are also naturally heat-producing. They raise internal body temperature and speed up digestion in a very forceful way. While this energetic movement can be helpful for healthy digestion, it can be overwhelming for someone whose kidneys require a calmer, less stimulating internal environment. The more internal heat you produce, the faster you lose hydration, and kidney filtration suffers immediately with even mild dehydration. Another layer of stress comes from the way mustard seeds are used. They are rarely used alone. They are often tempered with curry leaves, urad dal, red chilies, cumin, and sometimes commercial spice mixes. This combination creates a multi-layered digestive push. Every added spice increases the amount of metabolic waste produced after digestion, and all that waste must eventually travel through the kidneys. Many people don't realize how reactive mustard seeds can be when consumed frequently. Over time, they increase acidity levels in the body. Higher acidity means the kidneys must work harder to restore pH balance, and this extra workload becomes especially harmful when creatinine is already elevated. The acidity doesn't always cause immediate symptoms, which is why most people never link mustard seeds to kidney strain. For older adults, mustard seeds can also trigger bloating or discomfort in the upper abdomen. This discomfort is a sign of mild irritation in the stomach lining. When digestion becomes inflamed, nutrient absorption weakens. The body then compensates by breaking down internal tissues for energy, which leads to increased creatinine formation. This chain reaction makes mustard seeds more harmful than they appear. Another hidden impact is fluid loss. The heat from mustard seeds encourages sweating and internal dryness. When the body is even slightly dehydrated, creatinine rises because it becomes more concentrated in the bloodstream. Many people with kidney issues unknowingly create this problem by eating meals seasoned with mustard seeds multiple times a week. Mustard seeds also stimulate bile flow strongly. While bile is essential for digestion, too much stimulation can overwhelm the digestive system, leading to a cascade of internal reactions. When digestion becomes too intense, it forces the kidneys to process more byproducts even from small meals. This is why certain foods feel heavier or more tiring when mustard seeds are used. For someone living with high creatinine, the goal is always to create a gentle internal environment, calm digestion, smooth metabolism, balanced hydration, and minimal inflammation. Mustard seeds work in the opposite direction. They are fiery, sharp, and stimulating, which is why even a small amount can create an unexpected surge in metabolic waste. For a safer tempering option, consider spices that add aroma without triggering heat or rapid metabolic reactions. Coriander seeds, tiny amounts of ajwain, or even a simple sauté of ginger can deliver a satisfying flavor lift. These ingredients support digestive ease and help maintain a stable internal environment, giving your kidneys the space they need to function comfortably. Gentle seasoning keeps taste alive while keeping kidney stress low. So today we uncovered 3 spices that often go unnoticed in daily cooking, yet create unnecessary stress for weak kidneys: red chili powder, cloves, and black mustard seeds. Each of these spices brings more heat, stimulation, or metabolic load than your kidneys can comfortably handle when creatinine is already high. By reducing them and choosing gentler alternatives, you give your kidneys a calmer environment to recover, filter better, and stay protected in the long run. Remember, healing your kidneys isn't about removing all flavor, it's about choosing the right kind of flavor. Even small adjustments in your spice cabinet can make a meaningful difference in your energy, digestion, and overall kidney function. When your meals become lighter and kinder to your system, your body responds with improved clarity and lower stress on filtration. If this video helped you understand your spices better, make sure to like the video, share it with someone who needs this guidance, and subscribe to stay connected with more natural kidney healing tips. Take care of yourself, stay mindful of your choices, and I'll see you in the next video.